My name is Amanda and I am one of the Community Engagement Coordinators for Kier in Wales. I was unemployed and started an admin role on a £30 million project with Kea Construction. During my time on site, Kea seen something in me and I was able to progress onto the Community Engagement Manager for Wales. When we have construction sites, it's my role to go into the local communities and find ways of supporting that local community. We support communities by creating job opportunities for apprentices, trainees, graduates, work experience, placements, and we also support local community projects and local charities. We also work with local subcontractors and suppliers in the area. We are now going to show you a short video which explains a little bit about Kea Construction and what we are about. After the video, my colleagues will be introducing themselves and speaking about their individual journeys throughout the construction industry.
Excellence in construction is at the very heart of Kier. We meet the most demanding quality and efficiency standards over and over again and provide a complete building, civil engineering, mechanical and electrical solutions to private and public sector clients across the UK and internationally. From concept through to completion, Kier teams engineer tunnels and bridges that transform cities, construct the road, rail, power and water networks that keep the nation running, and build award-winning schools, hospitals, offices, factories and leisure facilities for communities to flourish in. Kier Construction brings the best of our learning, expertise and financial strength and apply it through our network of offices, which have deep-rooted knowledge and understanding of their local market and its communities. This gives Kea Construction the flexibility to handle projects of every size and level of complexity, enabling us to deliver projects from the Isles of Scilly through the valleys of Wales, across England, right up to the islands of Scotland and internationally in locations across the globe. Building anything from a £500,000 extension to a £250 million strategic asset. Our aim is that everyone we work with gains the greatest possible value from their projects and the assets we build, extending into strengthened communities, employment opportunities, and an improved economy. Our close collaboration with our clients sees them return to us time and time again, establishing Kier as one of the fastest growing construction companies across the UK.
So good morning everyone, and thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I hope that my team and I can give you an insight into the professional construction careers that our industry can offer. So my name is Jason. I'm the Operations Director for Kea Construction in Wales. So as Kier, we are a main contractor in the construction industry. This sees us undertaking construction work that can entail existing building refurbishment and conversions, and the construction of new buildings. We can construct anything from new schools, hospitals, museums, universities, hotels, retail stores, and inner town regeneration schemes. Projects such as the Ice Arena in Wales, the Trago Mill store in Merthyr Tydfil, the St Fagans Museum, the new S4C headquarters in Carmarthen, and the new Faculty of Architecture in Swansea, and many, many more. To provide you with a scale of what we do, the projects can range from £200,000 to in excess of £40 million. We deliver these projects from our two regional offices based in Cardiff and Swansea, and I have the privilege of leading around 100 staff. At any one time, we'll have an average number of 10 to 12 projects live on site across the whole length of South Wales and into the valleys. So if you're based on site, you'll undertake some travelling, which I always enjoyed, working within different communities. So my role as Operations Director is to provide the leadership and strategy, or direction for a better word, for over £100 million turnover in a year. I lead to ensure we develop our business within the market we work, the economic environment, that we find the work and attract new clients, we deliver our projects on site, and very importantly, we also provide the aftercare to the buildings we've provided. All this work has to be undertaken safely and considering everyone's health at all times for those people who work on our projects and the public that work around our projects as we construct them. And it's also essential we protect the environment for the future generations to enjoy. The presenters we have with me today are construction professionals. Whilst my team here are in their earlier years of their careers, I have 30 years experience. It's important for me to state that the construction industry, to be sustainable, we need to find the construction future professionals and the young talent to join our industry. But we also have our supply chain. Our supply chain requires apprentices to provide us with trades like groundworks, steel erectors, roofers, carpenters, painters, decorators. Without those, we can't physically construct our projects. There are many construction professional careers in construction. Today, you will hear from a site manager, Katie, in front of me. We have an estimator, and we have a quantity surveyor. But the construction industry has much more it can offer, from marketing, building intelligent models, design managers, planners, safety managers, media designers, bid writers, community benefits managers, and HR. There's many we can choose from, and maybe if you've got some questions, we can explore those later. A little bit about me. I was born in Tredegar in 1970. I now live in Cwmbran with 2 daughters, and in my spare time I do a little bit of mountain biking. I made my career choice back in 1989 to join the construction industry at the ripe age of 19. Why did I join the construction industry? I was in the Royal Air Force at the time, and after a year I discovered I couldn't become a pilot. I had a red and green colour blindness issue, and not being so quite calm and level-headed at the time, I discharged myself from the RAF Chivener base and returned home to no job and no work. At that time, maybe I should have stayed and pursued another career in the Air Force, but I was upset because I wanted to be a pilot. My childhood dream was shattered. But it was a big lesson in life for me. It was a lesson. It was time to focus and time to get serious about what I wanted to do. I started applying for everything because I didn't know what I wanted. And I had an interview with a bank, an interview in manufacturing, and so many different things I could have gone to, but it didn't intrigue me, it didn't excite me. The reality was I needed to earn some money, so I became a labourer on a construction site. And I was intrigued how things got built, seeing all these people put thousands of components together, like a massive 3D jigsaw. And I was suddenly enthusiastic again. I pushed hard for job applications, I had interviews from main contractors, and eventually I became a construction management trainee. I was going to prove myself. I knew I could be successful. So as a trainee, I learned on site, skills first-hand in practice. Whilst attending technical college, I undertook an ONC and HNC part-time whilst working. Eventually moved on to do an honours degree in construction. From a trainee, I became a site engineer on site and a site manager like Katie is today, and progressed through the ranks to project manager, area manager, and now the operations director for Wales. And with my academic qualifications and my experience, I became a member of the Chartered Institute of Buildings. That's the pinnacle of recognition that you are a professional member of the construction industry. The construction industry is a very challenging but hugely rewarding career. I can categorically say there's never been a dull moment. No day is the same, and I can truly say every day I learn and will continue to learn. I've never had a moment of regret with my career, and I spend a lot of time investing in our young talent of the future. The success factor comes from you though. Are you driven? Are you enthusiastic? Do you like a challenge? Do you like to be stretched out of your comfort zone? Do you like learning every day? You must own and manage your future and your development, and with a little good luck on the way, you can achieve anything. I'm an everyday Tregear Valleys boy from a working class background. Never did I think I would be a director of a construction business or have the privilege of leading 100 staff and the joy of influencing the careers of the young professionals of today. My proudest moments that I drive my enthusiasm with are when I travel around Wales and I see our buildings come to life. I see children using our schools, patients being treated in our hospitals, and the Devils playing ice hockey in Cardiff. I'm proud of the team and I'm proud of the legacy they have created by constructing buildings that change communities that we work, rest and play within.
Afternoon everyone, my name is James Thomas and I'm a quantity surveyor for Kier Construction and I'm based out of the Cardiff office. I'm currently at Kier School, you can see it on the screen in front of you. This is a £30 million new secondary school for Torfaen Council. There's going to be over 1,200 pupils in this fantastic new facility. This comes with a new sports centre, a huge new main building, along with a 3G pitch and all external works. It really is a fantastic scheme. So you might be thinking, what on earth does a quantity surveyor do? So as part of my responsibility on site, I cover all the contractual and financial aspects of the project, and I manage the value and the cost of the project from commencement right the way through to completion. So just to cover a couple of sort of day-to-day activities that I'm responsible for. I put in the valuations to our clients on how much we're going to get paid at the end of the month, and also manage how much we pay out to our subcontractors and assess their applications for payment. I'm also then responsible for the procurement of subcontract packages. So for instance, brickwork, steel, groundworks, all the elements really that make this a fantastic new school, hospital, leisure facility, and all the things that we as Kier undertake. So you might be thinking, how did I get into the industry? What made me become a quantity surveyor? So during my AES levels in school, I was studying ICT, computing and history. So initially nothing to do with construction. I sort of read up on some roles online and liked the sound of quantity surveying. And I was lucky enough to undertake a short summer placement with a small surveying practice. Really enjoyed my time, motivated me. I enjoyed the fact that I was sort of office based and then also on site, meeting new people and just seeing things being built. It was fantastic. So from there I sort of decided I was going to go to university and study a quantity surveying and commercial management degree. Our lights have just gone off. There they go. Yeah, so back on track. I went to the University of Glamorgan, University of South Wales is known now. Luckily enough, I did a couple of summer placements, and in my second year, Kier actually came into the university and did a graduate scheme presentation, and they were asking for upcoming graduates to apply for the role. So off I went up to London for a big sort of bit of a daunting interview. Luckily enough, Kier saw the potential in me, offered me the role, grasped it with both hands, and I've been with Kier now for over 3.5 years. So real testament to Kier sort of putting a bit of faith in me and then having the motivation and enthusiasm to grasp it and progress. So why construction? So I sort of touched on it. For me, it's an industry that we're always going to need quantity surveyors and site managers like Katie, estimators like Adam, and all the rest of our staff that makes Kier, Amanda, everyone. So for me, it was a future-proofing myself and a role that was never going to be sort of surplus to requirements. We're always going to be building things. Also, the sort of competitive nature of getting a building built on time, to the budget, to the timing we need, and just fulfilling all our clients' expectations. For instance, a school like this, seeing all the kids come in and being blown away by our new facilities and the smiles on their faces really is a sort of icing on the cake at the end of the job, really. So for myself then, I'm a quantity surveyor at the moment. So progression-wise, the sort of immediate role is a senior surveyor who takes on a bit more responsibility on a project. And then also a managing surveyor who sort of manages and oversees an array of projects, feeding into senior management, such as Jason sat behind me. So then that's sort of the immediate progression I'd be looking for myself. But in the sort of not too distant future, then nothing really is impossible. So a commercial manager, and even on the Jason's level as a operations director, as long as you've got the drive, the motivation, and the enthusiasm, you can do anything. So just to round it off for me, really, with sort of why I enjoy construction. No 2 days are the same. What I did yesterday and then what I'm doing today, I'm sat here talking to 18 schools and thousands of pupils, and tomorrow I'll be on site watching us crane up the roof or something. So it's really no 2 days are the same, and it really does make you want to sort of roll up bed in the morning. Likewise, I'm still young, and I'm always learning. Every day I learn something new, a new construction method, a new piece of knowledge, and you're always learning. And I think even at sort of Jason's level, he's still learning every day. So it really is endless. Lastly, then, like I said, I love the competitive nature and trying to sort of fulfill our clients' expectations. And for me, the balance of sort of being in the office and also being on site it's a really good balance, and it does make the day go quite quickly as well. So that's it for me. Now I'll pass away to my colleagues.
Hello, I'm Katie Henton. I'm 28 and I'm from Pembrokeshire. I'm currently a site manager with Kier, working at the Heath Hospital, constructing a new MRI building in the centre of the Life Hospital. The project is £11 million. So firstly, what intrigued me into construction? Well, when I was driving past buildings, roads, bridges, things like that, I was always really interested on how they came together, who put them together, what was involved in the construction process. So firstly, that was probably my reason to why I started coming into the industry. How I got into the industry, my dad is a ground worker. So firstly, I wanted to work with him. After a few weeks of working alongside him, I realised that it wasn't for me. I preferred to be his boss. So I went on to Pembrokeshire College. I got a national diploma in construction. I then came to Kier for a summer placement, which was meant to be for 6 weeks, just to get a bit of a flavour of site management before I was going to Bristol to do a degree in construction management. As the summer placement went so well, I was lucky enough to be taken on for the Kea Foundation Degree, which was great for me as I was able to earn and learn. I now have a BSc Honours in Construction and Commercial Management and 7 years of industry experience. So with the Kea Foundation Degree, I just want to talk you through what that is. It is a 4.5-year course, so you do 3 years, which is your foundation degree, and then you top that up then for 18 months, which gets you your BSc Honours. You work on site full time, but you go away to university just 4 times a year for a week each time. I did this in Sheffield Hallam, which is where we run our course currently. So a little bit about my role on site. I manage operations on a day-to-day basis, ensuring work is done safely. We are on time with our programmes that are set by some of my colleagues. We're within budget, which is obviously what James looks at, and we are building to the right quality standards. In regards to progression, I came to Kier as a management trainee. After my Kea Foundation degree, I progressed to an assistant site manager, which was a great step for me. And since then, I've become a site manager. I want to continue my progression with Kier, looking next at a senior site manager. And then one day I'm going to become a project manager. So what do I enjoy about my role? Mainly, I would say the variety. So at the beginning of this year, I was working up in Merthyr Tydfil. We were building Trago Mills Superstore. It was absolutely massive. It was a mile if you walked around the circumference of the building, and it was the size of 4.6 football pitches, which obviously is rather large. And now I'm working on an MRI building, which is in the centre of a life hospital. So I really enjoy the variety of my job, the excitement of coming to the end of a project and obviously working with all my colleagues.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Owen. I'm 30 years old. I'm originally from Caerphilly. I obviously also work for Kier. But unlike the guys in front of me, I'm based in pre-construction. And I'm an estimator. So my role is to analyse tender documents, drawings, bills of quantities that the client has aspirations to build, and then accurately estimate the cost that we think it will cost them to build it. And obviously, you have to add in all the supplemental costs that we need. So our management staff, obviously, we pay for Katie, pay for James, and the rest of the team, but also enable us as Kier to make a profit. But it's important that A, we beat our competitors, so we actually win the job, and B, actually give these guys enough money to build the job. So it's a fine balance. And I've worked on tenders varying from sort of £500,000 up into 30 million. So vast array of job site. The reason I got into construction is because I wanted a job that I could be proud of, fundamentally. The thought of being able to see buildings, schools, some of the projects you can see on the screen that I can drive past and say that I was involved with, it gives me a great sense of pride. And also, as we've sort of alluded to, the opportunities with the industries are massive, and there's so many roles you can actually go into. I actually got into the industry a bit of an elongated way. I'm a bit older than the people in front of me. I originally went to Glamorgan University, straight from university, from sixth form, where I passed my HNC in construction management. But I left university at the time of the recession, and that hit construction quite hard. So the opportunities were at a minimum at that particular point. So therefore, I explored other opportunities. I actually got a job with an opticians. A stopgap turned into 4 years, but I never gave up on my aspiration to join construction. And eventually, I got a position with Galford Tri as a management trainee. And then I worked my way through different areas, and then subsequently joined Kier as an assistant estimator, and then was promoted to estimator 18 months ago. And to be honest, progression role is probably much the same as the guys in front of me, move into more of a senior position, and then from there, management, take his job. The opportunities are endless, and I mean that. You could go wherever you want to go, really. And then, what do I enjoy about my job? I really enjoy the competitive nature. So if you are competitive, work winning is definitely the position to go for. I enjoy beating our competition. There's nothing quite nice picking up the phone to say that we beat it compared to other people. And I love to look at different ways of doing things, trying to find an edge over our competition in order so that we can win these tenders. I also enjoy the variety, as many people have alluded to before me. Slightly different to my role, I only work on a job predominantly 6 to 8 weeks, and then I'm on to the next one. So my variety is quite fast-paced, it's quite quick, but it's what I love. And each project building is different. No two sites are the same. I could build the same building 15 times, and every time would be different, because every site is different. You have different complexities, different people, different client requests, so it's completely different. And there is no feeling quite like winning a tender. Thanks.
Okay, I know some people have some problems with sound, but if anybody's got any questions, can we please have them now? I'm going to try and make sure they all get answered. Also, if you are having trouble hearing us, all of this will be on recorded the webinar available on our YouTube channel in a couple of weeks. We've had one question that came in before the webinar, and this is probably for Katie. Is it harder to be a female in the construction industry?
I personally wouldn't say it's harder. I think the industry as a whole is quite a difficult industry to work in, but that's not because I'm a female. I'm sure my colleagues here would say the same. It's hard for anyone that works in the industry. I think businesses are becoming a lot more forward-thinking. They're embracing women in construction. Within our business in Wales, I believe is 25% of our staff are actually female, going from roles from your admin, your design and build, obviously you've got your community engagement, you've got quantity surveyors, myself on site, engineers, all of those different roles. So I would say that the opportunities are endless, and that's for both women and for men.
There's a question there from Catherine. How hard is it to start in the trade? We've heard some of the stories here. What do you think? Is it a difficult industry to get into, or does it depend on your enthusiasm for it?
The industry right now needs new talent, whether that's trades or professionals like ourselves and our careers. The industry has a lack of these people. We need to invest in these skills and this training. I think you're right. It is all down to your sheer driving enthusiasm to want it, to make it a success. There are many entry routes through the Construction Industry Training Board. Careers Wales can help you. Main contractors can help you. So I do not see it as an industry with any barriers to enter and start your career into.
Thank you for that. How old do you need to be in order to undertake work experience on a construction site?
Okay, so there isn't really an age limit. It just depends on what you want to be doing on the actual project. In terms of going out on site, if you were under 18, you'd be fully supervised and shown around site anyway. You wouldn't be actually physically working on the site. And then when you're in the office, if you wanted to shadow a quantity surveyor, design manager, that's no problem at all. We don't really need an age limit on that, to be honest.
No.
We just need to work closely with the relevant schools to ensure we both have risk assessments that suit both parties. There are no barriers to coming to our site for experience.
Thank you very much for that. We have a question now, but would you advise people to go to university for the professional careers, or are there also apprenticeship routes?
Both, really. I mean, the reality is, if you go the apprenticeship route, you obviously get the university paid for predominantly, so obviously that makes it a bit easier, but they are at a minimum compared to, obviously, if you went straight to university, the opportunities, you get more doors open that way. So both, if I'm being honest. I think it'd be unfair to say go to university, because then we wouldn't have apprentices. And if I said to go down the apprentice route, we'd have a lack of obviously degree level people. So I think both. I think if you can get the opportunity to do either, they're both worth exploring.
Well, being clear, I joined the industry as a management trainee, which in today's world is an apprenticeship. So I joined as an apprenticeship without a degree. I ended up doing a degree like Adam because it was a recession moment, but I wouldn't have done it otherwise, and that would not have been a barrier to me becoming who I am today.
Thank you for that. Do you have an office or a presence in North Wales?
We do indeed. We have a Wrexham office who work from our central division that do undertake work in North Wales.
And this is the, well, however $1 million question.
We might have,
what are the sort of wages in construction? What they can range from?
We did predict somebody may ask that question. Just some figures for you that the average working national wage for you guys between the age of 22 to 29 is 19,500, and the average working wage for Wales is 24,000. As an entry level into our business and other main contractors, whether that's an apprenticeship or people going on to a foundation degree, it's around £14,000. Graduates who join us straight from university, like James to my right, start at £27,000. They also get a car with that. Then the average wage for our professionals is around £50,000 to £60,000 a year. With that, they also get private health, they get clearly private pension and other benefits as well with that package that you can earn as you progress through your career.
And there's a question here about any particular roles which you have a shortage of candidates at the moment. I know you mentioned in general there's a shortage, but are there any particular roles?
Estimators. Very short on estimators. I think I'm probably the youngest estimator in the UK. That's conjecture. Don't quote me on that one. But there's a shortage for every trade, to be honest.
Estimators and design managers are challenging in the industry for us right now. They're the two prime ones that stand out.
think
You are unique, Adam.
I am, in many ways.
I think from a surveying background as well, that traditionally surveyors tend to be a lot, like Adam said, estimators a lot older, and there wasn't many sort of my age looking to go into the industry. So we did say everybody, but specifically commercial roles definitely, but it is across the board.
Okay, and there's another question here that came in previously. What do you look for at interview? Is it all about qualifications?
No, it's not all about qualifications. I certainly didn't have those when I first started. It's when I see young guys in front of myself, or whether our senior managers interview or meet you, we look for someone who's driven, enthusiastic, and really up for that challenge. As Adam said, he went off to be an optician, so it wasn't about qualifications, albeit he had H&C. And James came through another direction. It's not about ultimately just what you have as qualifications. Of course, they provide you with a passport. They do, on occasions, open doors. But we view our business very much at looking at the people who sit in front of us and asking ourselves the question, can they take themselves forward to be someone more and develop them? In the case of Amanda to be our community benefits manager, who didn't have a construction qualification at all, doing that job today. So no, not just about qualifications.
Okay, are there any other questions at all? I got one other one that came in beforehand. With the, what's going to happen next year with Brexit, etc., do you see it affecting your trades?
That's the multi-million-pound question.
Yeah.
So when we all watch the news, does the government even know what we're doing yet? And we are preparing ourselves for what Plan A, Plan B, Plan C might look like. Will it affect the trade? I think one of the challenges we will have as an industry is what the import tax tariffs will do to the cost of products and components. However, we are sourcing more and more locally within our own communities. 80% we source are within 20, 50 miles of our projects now. We have to be agile and flexible. It will see a change in the work we do. So, for example, we need to bring food production back home. We need to bring more research facilities back home. We're already seeing an uplift in research establishments and funding from Welsh Government for those type of sectors. And food production that went away from West Wales in particular is starting to come back to West Wales. It will shift our economy into providing other types of buildings. So James said earlier, we always need buildings of some form, whatever we may be doing in them.
Okay, here's a good question. Where do Kier advertise the vacancies, especially apprenticeships?
Amanda?
Yeah, so these are advertised on our website. Also, because I work in the local communities and I'm a point of contact with agencies in the communities, I also advertise apprenticeships and opportunities to local agencies in the area.
Okay. And would that be local to where you have sites then, or would that be?
Yeah.
So you're looking for actual apprentices to work on active sites?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the website for Kier?
Kier.co.uk.
Any other questions? It seems we've gone a little bit quiet. Okay. Anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye to all the schools?
Got one coming through there.
Have we got one coming through?
Oh.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. Nice to know.
Oh.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you all for your kind comments, and I'm sure it's a very greatly appreciated by everybody here on the presentation.
Thank you.
I think we could offer, if there are guys at the other end of the screen who want to understand a little bit more about what we do or come and experience what it's like on the site, we could easily organise for the schools to visit our projects.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do anything like that, please, if you come through me in the first instance, and then we can monitor and pass it on to Kier Construction. So if you've got any requests, please let us know. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much for listening, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Kevin, just got to work.